It's hard to overstate just how important abs are for posture, for breathing, for being strong in the gym, just overall movement integrity as a human being. But I think we might have been placing a little bit too much importance on one set of abs while not considering the role and the function of the other abs in the qualities that I just talked about. Everyone loves to train their six pack at the gym. I do too, but it's actually not the most quote unquote functional muscle per se as it relates to gait, as it relates to quality of movement and just overall postural integrity. In fact, the six pack loves to kick on when there's a lack of function going on within the obliques and the transverse abs. Now, the six pack starts at the mid rib cage and it's going to go all the way down to the pubis symphysis down here. It's primarily responsible for just flexion of the trunk, but the obliques, which attach also on the rib cage and on this superior upper border of the innominate bone, are actually going to be responsible for much more as it relates to human movement. They're going to be responsible for controlling pelvic tilt more than the rectus abdominis, because they're going to ensure, along with the hamstring muscles back here, that pelvic tilt doesn't become too anterior and forward. So because of their attachment here, they can pull the pelvis into a more neutral state. So for those of you with anterior pelvic tilt, this is a strong consideration. The transverse abs also attach to the rib cage and they wrap all the way down and around near our spine. And they're going to be hugely important for stabilizing our trunk. Not only that, but these muscles are also responsible for rotation of the pelvis and trunk when we're walking or running or doing really pretty much anything upright in sort of an active environment. So when we rotate our trunk to one side, let's say I'm turning my trunk to the right, the opposite side abs, meaning the left obliques, are going to be responsible for turning me. The obliques and transverse abs are also muscles of respiration and breathing, which is really important because as we exhale, the obliques need to bring our pelvis together a little bit, and that's going to allow us to get the air out that we just inhaled. Upon inhalation, they then need to eccentrically elongate to a slight degree to allow some air to go into the belly, but because air is a gas and follows the path of least resistance, we need to have some degree of tension within our obliques, which is going to allow air to go into our rib cage. If we only have belly breathing, we're not going to have the ability to expand and we're going to be very compressed. These are the people that you see walk around like a stiff board because they don't have trunk rotation through their obliques and they also lack the ability to use them in proper breathing, which is going to lock down our system as a whole. So the key to training your abs in a quote unquote functional manner is going to be twofold. We just want to exhale for a long time during abdominal training. That's going to allow us to kick on those deeper abs and help us get more stability through our trunk and also promote a good breathing pattern, which is going to help expand us in all the right areas. Not only that, it's also going to help you reposition your body into a more effective and neutral state. The other thing we would want to consider is rotational training through the rib cage and trunk via the obliques because they do assist in that trunk rotation action. If we're only ever doing exercises that are straight up and down and forward and back, we're not actually training a high percentage of what constitutes human movement, which is so much of rotation. So here are 3 exercises I really like for training the obliques and the transverse abs in a good functional way that's going to carry over to better posture, to better movement quality, and just better range of motion throughout our body because we're going to be getting expansion in the areas that we need it, and we're not only going to be going after those six-pack abs. In this position, you don't have to have your heels against the wall. I just do because I find it helps me find more abs. And also that band is there to serve as a reference for me to push my rib cage back, but not excessively slouch over. That rib cage retraction will help you put your abs in a better position to help them fire.
Side plank position, straight from head to toe, reach up, loop under, big reaches. Don't just use your arm, throw some trunk rotation in. Inhale here, exhale.
In this position, I have most of my weight on my front heel, and notice how I'm rotating just a little bit. You don't have to do it excessively here. This is going to train the obliques through that trunk rotation aspect of their function, and you should feel pretty good burn on the side you're turning away from. So I'm turning to my right here, so I should feel my left obliques working as I exhale.